What is up, everybody? We are back with a brand new franchise here on the Gorox Gaming channel. So today we are going to do another retro rebuilds. We are not ending the old one that we've done. I know it's been a while since we've done a video of that, but I just wanted to switch it up a little bit and do a new retro rebuild. And this one is going to be a little bit different because the point of this is to change history, and not necessarily just to, build a team and have fun with it. I am actually looking to take the Detroit Pistons, and they drafted Darko Milicic in the 2003 draft when they had the chance to draft Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and even more players that would have worked out a lot better. So, my point is, we are going to take the 2002 Detroit Pistons, the year before they had that, second overall pick, and we're going to try to turn this around and get us maybe a LeBron James or Dwayne Wade or even a Carmelo. But as we all know, in 2004, this Pistons team also won the title. So we're also going to try to repeat history in 2004 and win a championship with this Detroit Pistons roster with a new look. So it's going to change history in a few different ways. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but let's get right into this. All right, and as we all know, there's going to be a lot of changes in these new eras. Social media is going to come in 2007, so we might make it that far, but we'll see. Going to be a lot of new stuff to happen here. But with that being said, let's take a look at this roster. We obviously want to keep Chauncey Billups. He is 26 years old, 85 overall. Richard Hamilton, same thing. He is 24 years old, 84 overall. He will probably play small forward for us, though, honestly. We don't really have much at shooting guard. So we're going to see a lot of trades to begin this, just to kind of get this team a little bit more on the right track, because we're not necessarily looking to go out and win as many games as we possibly can. Not saying we're tanking, but we're not out here trying to win every single game. What we're going to do is we're going to try to set ourselves up for the future the best possible way that we can, and that will be first by offloading all of these old, bad contracts. Try to get young players or picks or both if possible, which it's going to be tough. I mean, let's be real. Not a lot, to go off of here, so we'll see what we can get. There's really nothing, unfortunately, on this trade block. The only real thing that I've seen so far was an 05 first rounder in Earl Catchings, which we'll probably end up doing. We will have to, of course, take on a bad contract, but hopefully we can get rid of that as well. Not really having the best of luck. Let's see. Corliss Williamson, see what we can get for him. So that's actually not a bad trade. We get a first-round pick. It is top 3 protected, but we also get a bad contract, but it is 2 years less than what we have with Corliss, which could also be traded away. A Donald Foyle wouldn't be terrible. Let's see. Robert Ory and a 07 first. Not really loving that. Turkoglu and Mitch English. This actually could make a lot of sense. I know Turkoglu's got 1 year on his contract, but he's 23 years old, and this contract only has 1 year, so that could make a lot of sense. Could get out of a bad contract that way. Because like I said, we're really trying to, add to this team, but also we have a lot of bad contracts we need to get rid of in order to help the team out in the future to sign free agents. And honestly, no, never mind. I was going to say I could be interested in this, but I have to give up both him and John Barry, and I'm just not interested in that for that contract. I want picks, but there's just not much to go off of with picks, unfortunately. This probably is the best trade we're going to get because we get rid of 2 bad contracts. I know he's 34, but and getting paid $8 million, but that's for 1 year, and we need to offload all these contracts that are for more than a year. See if we can get something for him, but I doubt it. But it's worth a shot. It's worth a look at least. And really what we're looking for here is either a big downgrade in salary or a first round pick, which this one I don't hate, but I really, really don't want Sean Kemp. That's going to be really tough to get out of. Um, Such a bad contract. There's really not anything here for us, unfortunately, which I guess isn't really the worst thing because, it is a 1 year deal for 8 mil. So we'll just probably end up paying him. But Earl Catchings, we absolutely have to get rid of you. Sorry, bud. This one might be worth taking just because we swap second round picks, but we end up spending $2 million less and it's one less year. And he's younger, so maybe it could be worth more at the end of the day. This one wouldn't be bad either. Pretty solid contracts there. So really we're looking at this or this, which I think this is the best one because we do take on another bad contract, but it's not nearly as bad as what we have right now. Not a lot. I'm sure this is not going to be the greatest trades in the world. We're just trying to move off some contracts here. And actually, we're just going to go ahead and go with John Barry and see what we can get for him. This is not a bad trade. We're just not paying John Barry too much. So if we are going to get rid of him, I would like to get, something back. And Casey Jacobson could make some sense, but I don't like Bo Outlaw. First round pick here, we do take on a pretty bad contract, but it's a 1 year contract. So that honestly is probably going to be the deal we go with. Unless we see something here that Chris Anderson wouldn't be bad. And honestly, it'd be the perfect backup to Ben Wallace. And he's on a 2 year deal though only, so we might not go with that just because of that. Let's see. What was the other... Ooh, an 81 overall center. I know it's not a good contract at all, but we could probably flip him for something else. So we might end up doing that too. What was the pick that we were looking at here? An 04 pick from the Spurs. Probably not going to be a very good pick. The Spurs are one of the best teams. Let's see here. Theo Ratliff, 4 year deal though, yeah. We're probably going to stay away from him just because that's such a bad contract. And Chris Anderson, let's go ahead and take this deal. Get ourselves a backup center for the next few years. Which, kind of got a logjam at center now. But Chris Anderson's pretty cheap, so it's not a big deal. But we got a lot of centers, and we need to get rid of them. Honestly, I don't hate that. I really don't. I think I'm going to take this one, though. Well, that's 5 years instead of 2. And you can move him to small forward. Probably unload him as well. All right, Junior Harper. What can we... That's not a bad deal. I would give up a second-round pick for them to eat all that contract. Yeah, we're going to take this deal. Get that terrible contract off our books. Really, we're just trying to unload as much money as physically possible right now. See what we can do. Is there any 1 year deals? No, but this one's for 3 years, and it's a little bit cheaper. So I'll take that. Just like I said, unload some money. See what we can get for some guys. Obviously, we're going to want to re-sign Rip Hamilton. No questions asked. This one's tough. Smush Parker wouldn't be bad, but I don't like that other contract. This one is probably going to be the one that I take, and we'll move Ely down to power forward, unless we can get a better pick, but I seriously doubt it. A first-round pick in 07. That's actually not a bad deal. I know it's 07, but it's really worth it in my opinion. Because then we can probably, if we do want to trade up later, we can do that. Let's see what we can get out of these two. Probably not much, if anything. I would not be opposed to this deal. Also, this one wouldn't be bad just because Wesley Person will be under contract next year, and we could move him in the draft just as like extra value. Because that's really what I'm looking for right now is just a little bit extra value for next year when we do try to move up in the draft, because I'm assuming we're not going to have the #1 overall pick. This would get rid of 2 pretty bad contracts. What was the trade I was looking at before? That Wesley Person deal. Really, I'm just looking for the cheapest contract that's more than 1 year. Donald Foyle. 27. Probably could play power forward, but then we take on this atrocious contract. I think we're going to do this. Just because we can probably get out of that deal. Yeesh, no we can't. What about putting them together? I mean, this is definitely cutting some money off the books, so I'll take it. Alright, let's take a look at our contract extensions. How is he not eligible? The contract was 1 year. 4 years or longer. Okay. Well, that's trash. Can't even extend him. I might cheat and just force extension to whatever he's expected, which is 11.7, because I don't know why I can't actually extend him. But either way, let's look at our finances here. Salary cap breakdown. We've got 4.5 mil-ish in salary cap. That's with all these atrocious contracts too. So we'll be able to hopefully clear some of that as we go here. I just want 1-year deals if possible. I'll take this because there's one 1-year deal involved. Get rid of a few 3-year deals. It's really tough though, man, getting some of these trades to go through. We're gonna go with this one, Johnny Mobley, just because I feel like we traded him away too. But just because saves us some damn money, that's really it. In the grand scheme of things, we're just trying to save some damn money. Michael Curry can go. We have so many centers. Holy shit. This one I wouldn't be opposed to. Let's pull the trigger on that. Okay, now let's try to get rid of Johnny Mobley, maybe. No, it's not going to happen. Maybe both of them together. This one is, well, never mind. That one could have been good, but wasn't. Okay, this is the one I'm going to take for sure. Alright, let's reassess this roster now. Let's move him down to power. Well, I think we're going to move Foyle down to power forward and have him start for us. Then we'll move Nash down to power forward as well. He'll be our backup. Alright. And now what we will do is take our minutes, figure those out, see exactly where guys are going to do, what guys are going to do. And then we're going to sim this first season and see where we end up. Well, we need to stop winning, first of all. But first things first, let's look at the top players here in this draft. Clearly LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Those are our top 4. Chris Kaman, Kirk Heinrich, Howard Burks to round out that top 6. There's a few other guys, you know, later on too that could be pretty good, but that's kind of the gist of it. We are 17-9 right now, first in the conference, second in power rankings. So not necessarily what we were hoping for, I guess. But we'll see. We also have the Grizzlies pick this year, though, too. So Grizzlies and our pick. Then we have the Bucks pick next year as well as our own. And then we have an extra pick in 07. So we could definitely make some moves and, you know, trade up in this draft no matter how good our team does this year. So we'll see. Maybe we can make the playoffs, and if we do, I'll definitely be playing some games. All right, so we are here at the trade deadline, and we are the 3rd overall team in our conference. So the 3rd seed in the East currently. Ben Wallace is obviously leading our team. 16 rebounds per game, almost 11 points, almost 3 blocks per game, and almost 1.5 steals. Then we have Chauncey Billups, almost 30 points per game, 7.5 assists as well. And then Richard Hamilton, 24.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, a steal, and almost half a block as well. Then Adonal Foyle, not really what you'd want from him, only 6 and 7. Chris Anderson, 8.5 and 8, basically. Pretty solid from our backup center. Pepe Sanchez, don't remember having him on the team, but that's all right. And let's see if there's anybody that we really do want to look to move. I mean, there's obviously a few guys that we would love to get rid of, but if there's anybody that we would really like to get rid of, for, better players, see what we can do there. And I think we're going to make this trade, Casey Jacobson for Pepe Sanchez, and we're also going to get a second-round pick. He's 21 years old, so it's kind of almost feels like an obvious trade, in my opinion. But honestly, I think that's really going to be the only trade that we make here. We are definitely going to try to extend Rip Hamilton. Not eligible. Fred Hoiberg would resign, so that's pretty solid. But I think that'll do it for this trade deadline, unfortunately. Really not much going on. So, all right, let's sim the rest of the season and see what happens. Well, it looks like we can re-sign Chris Anderson, and let's see if he will accept this. So we got him for an extra 3 years, so that's nice. We got our backup center of the future here. We have locked him up for the next 5 seasons. Man, Rip Hamilton, I just wish I knew why he's not eligible for a new contract. And like I said, I might just force it. Actually, I'm going to look up what his contract was. So it looks here like in real life he signed a 7-year, $62 million deal in 2002. So what we're going to do is... This is tough. I think what we're going to do is at least just make him stay here for one more season. Just because of the fact that, for some reason, it's not letting me even try to re-sign him. But we're just going to give him exactly what he got that year. Well, a little bit more. He's going to get, let's see here. He's going to get $7 million. He was set to make $6.5 million in real life. So we'll just give him 7 and see where that goes. Hopefully we can re-sign him after next season. Shaquille O'Neal wins MVP for the 2002 season. 31 points, 15.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals, 2.5 blocks. Amari Stoudemire wins Rookie of the Year. 8 points per game, almost 9 rebounds. Bobby Jackson, 6th Man of the Year. Ben Wallace wins Defensive Player of the Year. Only 10 points, but 14.5 rebounds, almost 1.5 steals and 2.5 blocks, so pretty solid. Most Improved Players, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and then Coach of the Year, Don Nelson, Executive of the Year, Philip Turner. So pretty solid. Jason Kidd, NBA First Team, All-NBA Second Team, nobody on the Pistons. Third Team, Chauncey Billups. Defensive Team, of course, Ben Wallace in the First Team. Nobody else throughout the rest. And no rookies from the Detroit Pistons here. And we will be taking on the New Jersey Nets. And what I will do is, because this is year 1, and technically they did not make the, or they didn't win the championship year 1, or in 2002, I should say. We're going to simulate through the first round, and we're only going to play after round 1 if we make it that far. And what we'll do is we'll only play the, if we're down 3-1, we're not going to play the game. But if it's 3-3, we'll play, just to see what the team's like. And Detroit is plowing through the Eastern Conference right now in the playoffs. It is 3-2, and we are now in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we have the Orlando Magic, Tracy McGrady. Of course, they don't have Shaq, so probably not going to be too tough for us, but we'll see. Orlando takes game 1. We take game 2. They take game 3, okay, and game 4 down 3-1, and they eliminate us from the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals. And we have the Magic taking on the Mavericks in the 2002 Finals. Steve Nash, Michael Finley, Dirk Nowitzki leading that team. And let's see who wins the NBA Finals in 2003. And it'll be the Mavs, and Dirk Nowitzki securing his first title. Good for them. Let's see. Not too many guys that we will reverse. Dikembe Mutombo, I'll reverse. Kendall Gill, I'll reverse. Just a few, the better guys, basically 75 or more, if they're not super old. Hall of Fame inductees, none. Jersey retirements, none. Historic changes, new team branding for a lot of different teams. League meetings, not much going on here. Draft lottery. Now, this is where it gets fun, okay? Because we have the Grizzlies pick, which is number 6 in terms of the lottery chance to win the top pick. In real life, the Pistons got, I believe, the 3rd selection, and they took Darko Milicic. And now the whole point of this is to reverse that fuck up, basically, by the Pistons and take one of the top talents in this draft. So with that being said, let's see where we will be selecting in this year's draft. And we will have the 6th overall pick, just like we thought. Also the 23rd pick from our own, from ourselves, I guess I should say. Hopefully we can come out and make a trade on draft night. It's going to be kind of tough. We don't really have too much. Donald Foyle is a guy we'll definitely try to get rid of. Fred Hoiberg will be here. Casey Jacobson will probably be involved in that. Not a lot of guys that we can actually throw into that trade, though. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And first, before we do that, we need to sign our front office, our coaches, our scouts, all that. And first things first, we need to get an assistant GM. Let's go basketball IQ. Let's give him 353. So we don't need a new head coach. Don't need an assistant head coach. Do need a shot doctor, though. Go with that. Scouting. Obviously, we need a new domestic scout. We're not going to try to take too long on this. We're just going to try to sign a few guys and get it over with. That'll work for me. All right, well, a few of these guys aren't going to be able to be hired, unfortunately for us. Probably not going to be interested in the assistant GM job because he is apparently a GM. Yeah, he took the job. All right. So we have an ex-GM as our assistant GM now. So that's pretty fun. Let's see. Let's go with strength trainer. And let's go with sports science. All right. And that'll do it for our staff signing. So now let's get into this draft and see if we can change history completely. Where will LeBron go? Where will Melo go? Where will Dwayne Wade go? We shall see. And of course, first things first, we're trying to get to number 1. We need that number 1 overall pick. We need LeBron in Detroit. Could you imagine LeBron with all these guys? Let's see. 6th overall pick and 23rd pick just to start him off. Probably not going to get it to go through. And honestly, I doubt we'll end up getting this trade to go through just because we don't have much when it comes to players and that we can add to this to, help up the value a bit. So it's definitely going to be tough to make a trade go through, and I doubt it's going to happen. So what we'll do now is also add that 2nd round pick. It's not going to make much of a difference. See if maybe this 2007 Rockets pick will change it. Actually, let's go with the 04 Pistons pick. Let's see if that'll make it happen. Not going to make it happen, so unfortunately, LeBron James will not be a Piston. Well, here's the question. Rip Hamilton, right, is going to be a free agent next year. We don't know if he's going to want to sign with us. And I feel like the Nuggets could definitely be interested in Rip. It would make a lot of sense. He's only 25. Let's see just how much more we'd have to give up on top of him. I just don't want to give up the 6th pick, too, is really the issue here. And I doubt it'll go through without that pick, unfortunately. All right, let's see. Just because it's freaking LeBron James, Rip Hamilton in the 6th pick, not gonna work. Okay. What if we add some players, maybe? Wow. They know what they got, man. They know what LeBron is. They know. He's going to be the best player of all time. Man, that's tough. Man. They're really being tough on me right now. I swear, if this doesn't go through, I'm going to give up. Okay, thank God. So, we ended up giving up Rip Hamilton, Adonal Foyle, the 6th pick, and the 23rd pick because the fact of the matter is we get to draft Chris Kaman at the number 1 overall pick. No. We're going to take LeBron James at the number 1 overall pick in the 03 draft, completely changing history. The Nuggets trade down to pick 6, and they will likely miss out on the top 3 here. And that's why we had to give up so much. I mean, be honest right now. The difference between a guy like Dwayne Wade and Chris Kaman is so big that I can't even explain it. These top 3 guys are going to be absolute phenoms for their whole career, specifically LeBron. And LeBron James, welcome to the Detroit Pistons. Carmelo going to the Miami Heat is kind of hilarious. Chris Kaman is going over Dwayne Wade to the Seattle Supersonics. Oh, my Lord. And Chris Bosh, he goes over Dwayne Wade. Could we see a trade up? Dwayne Wade goes to the Indiana Pacers here, and then the Nuggets take Jarvis Hayes. So not much going on there for the poor Nuggets, unfortunately. Now let's see if there's anybody worth selecting. Kyle Korver. Let's go with Kyle Korver. All right. That'll do it for this draft. Let's see what we got and see what we're going to do with this team for the future. So Kyle Korver, 68 overall, mid-range shooter, absolute dog shit three-point shooter somehow. But we're going to keep him on the squad just because not a lot of team or player options going on here. Qualifying offers, nothing. So free agency now, let's see. We have a lot of cap space. There's quite a bit of players here that we could be interested in. And let's see what we're going to do. So, wow. First things first, let's try to get rid of some of this cap. Some of these bad contracts. Ooh, I'll take that. Thank you. Just because, you need a shooting guard, a power forward, and all of our backups still, we're going to have to try to trade away as many of these bad contracts as possible to get as much money as we can and as many roster spots as we can get. Maybe we can get some picks. There we go. Okay, so we're fully cleaned out now. $21 million in cap space. Clearly, we're going to offer Tim Duncan. I mean, that's without a doubt. Tim Duncan's the best player available here. Got to give him an offer. Jermaine O'Neal, I could be interested in. Elton Brand, too. And I think we're going to go with Jermaine O'Neal. Just as an offer, just to see if we can get him or not. Give him a little bit less. And then, what else are we looking for? Because really, we need power forward and shooting guard. Gilbert Arenas could make some sense here. Let's see. Let's give him a 4-year deal. Let's go 10.7. See what we can do. Okay, so both Jermaine O'Neal and Gilbert Arenas agree to terms. Tim Duncan, of course, signs with the San Antonio Spurs. So we came away with huge additions in this offseason. Not only did we get LeBron freaking James, we got Jermaine O'Neal and Gilbert Arenas to add to this roster. And Gilbert is going to move over to the shooting guard. And now we have a pretty solid starting lineup, I'll say. Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, LeBron James, and Gilbert Arenas. Obviously, we need some help other than that, but we've got a solid foundation now. Now what we need to do is go ahead and try to add the best backups possible without adding too much money. Let's see here. 2 minimum deals. pretty much what we're going for now. Jim Jackson would be solid, I think. Ray Cooper would probably be good too. Nobody signed. Shooting guard, we're going to try to sign somebody there. We're basically going to need to sign 1 or 2 players from every single position, which is not going to be easy. All right, now let's take a look at our roster after we've signed a few guys. Point guard, Chauncey Billups, Howie Carney, and Rodney Randall. Shooting guard, Gilbert Arenas, Ray Cooper, and Bryce Drew. Small forward, LeBron James, Mirza Fesenko. Don't remember signing him. Oh, no, I do, actually. I'm stupid. Then we got Casey Jacobson and Kyle Korver. And then we have Jermaine O'Neal, Dana Oakley at power forward. So I think what we'll do is, let's see. If he can play power forward, I'm going to put, Fesenko's going to play power forward for us. He's going to be our backup there. Then all we really need to do now is sign ourselves a center. Third center, not even a backup, so shouldn't really play too much. This man is Amish as hell. Okay. We're just looking for the cheapest guy, really, that we can get here. Okay, so I think we might have one too many players on this roster. Point guards, 3. Shooting guards, 4 of them. Small forwards, 3. 3 power forwards and 3 centers. So we do have 1 extra player here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to try to find out what the best way to go about this would be. And honestly, I think it's going to be relations lit. Oh, okay. Like, oh, that's cool. But anyway, I think we're going to try to trade somebody. Really just based on the grades that they have in their contracts. This is really tough, honestly. Casey Jacobson's 2 years. We're going to try to get rid of one of these 1-year deals. Bryce Drew. That's the hard part. Who do we get rid of? Personally, it's got to be one of these 2 because they don't have any badges. And it's going to be Kirk Tinsley, I think. See what we can get for him. Why not? 06 first, but we got to take on a gross contract. This wouldn't be bad. I actually wouldn't hate that trade at all. First rounder. So 07 from the Spurs. 06. Shit. I think we're going to take one of these, that 07 first from the Spurs. Then we'll go ahead and get rid of the guy that we just got in the trade for pretty much anything. And we'll just cut him. $660K, I'm fine with getting rid of that. All right. So let's sim through free agency, get to player progression, see what this team's looking like. So Gilbert Arenas actually is all the way up to an 88 overall at the shooting guard position. So our starting lineup is going to be Ben Wallace, Jermaine O'Neal, LeBron James, Gilbert Arenas, and Chauncey Billups. Obviously, our depth isn't the greatest of all time, but with that starting lineup, don't necessarily need it, but we'll see. That is going to do it for this episode, though. Episode 1 of the Retro Pistons rebuild. I appreciate y'all for coming. Appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.